My name is Ethan Stevens. I'm here at Apogee Studios in Santa Monica. I'm a recording and mixing engineer. I've been working for Boomin for some years now with Metro Boomin. I decided to get interested in recording because in high school, actually, like some of my friends wanted to rap and I wanted to make beats. So it was kind of like the only way, you know? If I wanted to make the beats and in order for them to get on the song, I had to record them. So I jumped from high school to the recording school because actually one of my buddies I went to high school with, his friend went to the recording school. I didn't really know this was like a profession like that or like, you know, I could do this as a career. And so I did my research, looked it up, got my parents to go. We did like a little tour. I decided to do the 18th month and then I got my internship maybe like a month or two into the program. They actually do it like on the newsletter and the emails and no one ever reads them. So no one ever applies to them. So I got actually like 2 or 3 that way. But yeah, so then I did that. I got my internship at Paramount. And then from Paramount, I wasn't able to get hired yet because I wasn't of age. So went back to school and then continued doing more internships, like I said. And then eventually when I turned 21, I got hired at Paramount. So I met Metro actually through Paramount as well. He booked a studio and I just got the call that, hey, would you like to do this session? Of course. Well, working with Metro, he's very involved. He's in the studio all the time with us, you know, like so many producers will just send you beats and, you know, just load them up. Like I'm just choosing random, you know, or they might choose. Metro's there the whole time. So he's there while we're recording, you know, he's helping the artists get lines, say this over again, keep that flow. He's really hands-on. And then even too with his beats, he loves live instrumentation. We always think about how we could elevate this. If he did a string patch on a keyboard, let's try to get some real strings. I feel like so many people hand it off to this or that, you know, even with me mixing, like he lets me do my thing, but then once I'm like, you know, I think I'm good, or I think it's done, he'll be like, load it up. Let's change this, do that. So it's like, you know, he's very hands-on. My favorite albums I've ever done with him was Without Warning and Heroes and Villains. And I think it's just the atmosphere and the time too. Without Warning, you know, it was 2017. You have all these artists that were coming up and emerging and, you know, everyone was hungry. Everyone was like, it was exciting to go to the studio. Like, I can't wait to load a beat up and, you know, see what's gonna come out of it. But Without Warning was a great time. And then also Heroes and Villains. That was my first executive produced project. So I was very hands-on with that one as well. So forever, we've always been a night owl. Always, yeah. We might not start our session till midnight. But I'd say probably like around 2021, we try to convert to the daytime thing. And it worked for a while. And then when we locked back in with Future, it was just, yeah, right back, maybe even worse than originally, because he's just a complete night owl. So my studio setup right now is, I have the Mac Studio. That's going into 2 symphonies now. The Mk2s, the 16s. One of them has a 32, and then one of them has a 16 and an AES card. So I go out from my symphonies into either the SSL, if we have one, or I have a Neve summing unit as well. And then I have like some Moog EQs, just like different outboard pieces that I incorporate sometimes, either as hardware inserts or into like my mix bus chain. And so that's what makes Apogee so great actually, is that having all the IO in there is I could easily use hardware inserts, or I could use it in my chain, or, you know, just having that many IO in one unit is great. So then that's going through the Neve, and then I go from my Lavry and back into the Symphony through AES. My time with the Symphony has been great. You know, it's so easy to work with, don't have problems with it. It's smooth, it's not super loud. And just having the connectivity, like being able to have the Thunderbolt card in it or being able to do HDX, it's just very easy to use. You know, the touchscreen, I could like change my levels on the IO, just things that aren't really available in a lot of high-end professional interfaces. I'm a big like Reddit and like online, you know, I do a lot of research. And so I came across Apogee in like some threads and stuff like that, and how their symphonies came to be, you know. It had all the improvements that I like. It was a no-brainer. Yeah, the converters is a huge part. I mean, me personally, like if I were to open up a session, I'm not loaded down with plugins. How I record the signal is a huge part of it. You know, if I don't get a good recording, then I'm gonna have to go extra with the plugins, and that's something I don't want to do. Even working with someone like Metro, it's like, if he sees 6 plugins on something, he's gonna be like, yo, what is this? Like, he'll start bypassing them himself, like seeing like where the issue is, because we don't like to do over processing stuff. So our converters play a huge thing because he uses MPCs, different drum machines and keyboards, and you know, we want the full signal. We want the whole frequency range. We want the best that we could get. The new 16 by 16 modules are great because they're more, I feel like, more open, a little bit more detail, a little more clarity, you know, and it makes the mixing process easier. Tracking as well, you know, I might hear things that before it's like, and before they were great too, but now I'm like, oh man, I might need a, you know, less compression here or a little EQing here. Like, it makes the whole recording process easier just because I could get the best signal and the best recording possible. I mean, it's highly recommended. It's highly recommended to work with one guy or one woman or whoever, but yeah, it's consistent and you could like really have a workflow going. It's so hard when I work with like a new, not hard, but when I work with a new artist, you know, you're adapting. You're trying to find out what they like, how they like to work and everything like that. But with Metro, it's like, you know, back of my hand. I think we're gonna do more albums. You know, we're not really ones of a single. We don't really like singles like that, especially if it's going to be on an album. We want you to hear the album as a whole the first time. If you give someone a single, they think that they know what the rest of the album is gonna sound like, and you start putting ideas in their head, and it's like, we like you hearing a whole project. Because I feel like not a lot of many people even do albums nowadays. So we really strive to make an actual album that on your first listen to will be like, wow, that felt like a piece of art, you know? But in the future, I think we definitely want to go more into the movies. We did the Spider-Man soundtrack last year, and we're hoping to do the next one too. So yeah, definitely like to go down that route as well.